all know the 1%. We all know that Jeff Bezos and Donald Trump, the capitalist, the number of capitalists on this planet, true capitalists, not the stupid motherfuckers who ain't capitalists. Because if you are not in a position to live off your dividends, you are not a capitalist. If your unearned income is not your primary source of income, you are not a fucking capitalist. You might be pro-capitalist. You may support capitalists. You might be a bootlicking idiot, but you are a member of the working class, the working middle class, the working upper middle class, the working lower middle class, or the biggest population on the planet, the poor working class. You are a member of the working class. And if you are a member of the working class and you support the leisure class, the capitalists, you are fucking stupid. I don't give a fuck. Fuck your feelings at this point. It's late in the day. The life-sustaining capacity of the earth is being destroyed by the capitalists, and you are aiding them. There's no reason. You have no incentive to support capitalism or capitalists, unless you are a psychopath and you like to see shit burn and people suffer. And if that's the case, I hope you're not watching my YouTube. I don't want no people that far gone anywhere around me or paying attention to me. But what was your question? How do you confront capitalism? The real tragedy is capitalism could be obliterated if the working class people simply just sit down. We don't have to march. We don't have to take up arms. It will be what they call a bloodless coup d'etat, because they need us. There's no such thing as a self-made millionaire or a self-made billionaire. We already saw that they need us to work. Jeff fucking Bezos could not fucking do shit if every Amazon worker, every Amazon truckloader, every Amazon factory worker, everybody in the sweatshop in the third world making all those goods and services that he's sending, it's like, I'm done. Fuck you. If every farmer was like, oh, fuck this shit. Well, I'm gonna be out in this field sweating while motherfucker in the commodities exchange market. You got people in Idaho. You got peasant farmers in Mexico farming and out in the field with the bugs and the sweat and the injuries. One of the most dangerous jobs in the world is agricultural work. But there's a motherfucker in downtown Chicago where the commodities exchange market is making money off of your labor who does never been to a field. Michael Jordan making money off of shoes. He ain't never set foot in no goddamn shoe factory. Michael Jordan don't make no fucking shoes, but he makes more money than all the people who make the shoes put together. So we confront capitalism by simply uniting as workers, by becoming class conscious and engaging in class warfare. That anybody outside of our class, even if they look like us, even if they have the same race, religion, culture, ethnicity as us, if they are outside of our class strata, they are our enemy. And if you're like, wow, I don't want a billion fucking enemies, then fucking commit class suicide. Come down to our class level. So we confront capitalism. First, we have to be class conscious. Because if we aren't class conscious, then the world's going to do like it always does. The working classes hacking each other to fucking bits on behalf of the elites. I'm going to keep saying this shit. They say Trump is a real estate mogul. Can the motherfucker lay bricks? Can he run wires? Can he hang drywall? Has he ever fucking swung a, does he own a fucking hammer? You're not a fucking builder. And if you're not a builder, then you shouldn't be involved in real estate or buildings. Your name shouldn't be on a fucking building. I'd rather see the name of the thousands of men who built that and women who built that fucking building than see Trump's name across there. When Trump ain't never ran a vacuum across the floor in that building. He ain't never unclogged a drain in his fucking life, but he owns the building. So we confront capitalism first with class consciousness and rationality. It doesn't make sense to have thousands of homes and hundreds of homeless people. I read a statistics one time, there's more than 370 homes available in the United States for every single homeless person. I read another article that said more than 40% of all food produced is thrown away. And we got hunger on the planet. And we produce enough food to feed the entire human population 2 to 3 times over. And the people who are producing that food often are malnourished. Under European imperialism, people who grow the food are malnourished. Under capitalism, the people who grow the food and they and their children suffer from malnourishment. The people who build the houses are homeless or home insecure. My father is a builder. He has a felony conviction since he was 17 years old and he's in his 60s. And that felony has followed him. My father is a builder and he has experienced homeless. My father has lived in transient hotels and my father knows how to do plaster, drywall, electrical work. He knows how to lay hardwood floors. My father is a builder, yet he has housing insecurity. Has had housing insecurity in his life. He can't just go somewhere and fill out a leasing application because he has a felony. He couldn't go back to school because he couldn't get student loans because he has a felony. He couldn't even move into public housing because he has a felony. And a man in his 60s who was convicted of a felony as a fucking minor. So we need class consciousness, and then we need to become rational, start fucking thinking. I had a woman, a sister, whom I've known her since I was a freshman in high school. Known her most of my life, conscious, Nubian queen. Since we were both in high school, we both did social justice activism. And just one day, I made the statement that no one's done $1 billion worth of work. So if someone has $1 billion, that automatically means that they are a parasite, that they are exploiting the labor of other people. That's all that means. No one should be looking up to or admiring any billionaire. And she disagreed with me. And she felt that it would be wrong for us to go to Bezos or to fucking, can't even name, it'd be wrong to go to a billionaire and simply say, break yourself. We can't go to Trump and say, break yourself, motherfucker. We can't do that, it's wrong. It's immoral for us to take money to take a home from a person who has 10 homes and give it to a family that has no home. It would be wrong to go to a person with $1 billion and take half of their money and distribute it to 1 million people so that they can buy food and live dignified lives. She thinks that's immoral. So we're irrational. I mean, the cult of Christianity, the cult of Islam are horrible, but the cult of capitalism and the cult of fiat currency is the biggest fucking cult on the planet in history. So we have to, because a lot of times, I know you probably say, oh, confront capitalism, we got to take up arms. We got to take to the streets. We got to burn shit. But when we take to the streets and we take up arms, like in South Africa, who overthrew apartheid, like all of sub-Saharan Africa, drove out all the colonialists, like in the Caribbean, drove out all the colonial powers. And then we put up black oligarchs and black capitalists, and we start praising black entrepreneurs. So fuck it. You know, what's the point of ousting Western powers if we're going to reinstitute Western ways of doing shit and valuing shit? And I also say, the only thing worse than adopting the religion of your enslaver is adopting the economy of your enslaver, because both of them will cause you to re-enslave yourself. So I think we got a lot of intellectual work to do, a lot of psychological work to do, a lot of counter-indoctrination and counter-propaganda and re-education to do. And if we can get our people to think different, then we can start functioning differently. Then we can start getting people to see the dollar is worth absolutely fucking nothing. There is no morality in earning and working hard. But now we got black people talking about I'm a hustler. That used to be an insult when I was coming up in the 70s, in the 50s. If you called my great grandfather, Grandpa Bowie, if you called him a hustler, he'd say, no, I'm not a hustler. A hustler is basically a capitalist, someone who wants to get more out of something than what they put into it. So if you out here hustling, you're basically trying to extract more than you put in. A just man, a righteous man or righteous woman will say, I want fair compensation for my inputs. I want just compensation for my work. A hustler says, I want it all, and I want to do next to nothing. The more work I have to do to get shit, the worse off I am. We got people out here bragging about how they grind. Oh, I grind. I get up at 3 a.m. I don't see my kids. I don't see my wife. I got 3 ulcers. But look at these Jordans. Look how nice my car is. And I'm about to buy a house 3 times a house that I live in. But you're fucking, literally we have promoted insanity to vanity, to something to be admired. Every time I go online and I see these motherfuckers, oh, look at my stocks, look at my house, look at this, I'm balling. I'd be like, wow, this motherfucker's insane. I don't see people bragging about the quality of air in their community. Like, wow, we did a particle. We tested the latex particles in the air. We tested the mercury and lead levels of the fucking water. We tested the biomass in the soil, and it's really getting better every year. We don't brag about that shit because we can't brag about it because the water's more contaminated, the air's more polluted, and the soil's more denatured every day. And that's the real value. That's what you need to live, not dollars. So capitalism is a fucking death cult. And we need to make our people to understand it psychologically and intellectually before we can get them to rise up against it on a material level, because we keep fucking rising up, we keep rioting, we keep fighting, and then we turn around and let Jay-Z's become goals, #goals. We turn around and let black billionaires be our heroes. I even got people in Chicago, which is worse off under Obama than it was under most other, but people are like bragging, oh, Obama's one of the richest ex-presidents. I saw people sharing pictures of the new mansion that Obama and Michelle bought, showing pictures of their gangly daughters. Those are class enemies, and the kids too. It's like Dr. Khalid Muhammad said, the oppressor's children are being raised to be oppressors of your children. The exploiters of your exploiters are raising their kids to exploit your children. So yes, class consciousness is the first step in intellectually understanding, and then a reevaluation. We need a Pan-African socialistic worldview, social theories, and then when our consciousness and our ideology is grounded, rational, scientific socialism, then we can start talking about action. But we want to skip to action because action, which I don't understand, the intellectual work, so many of our people I do understand because I'm into sci. The intellectual work, the groundwork, the foundational work for building a true liberation struggle, anti-capitalist struggle, it's just so distasteful to so many people. They want to be out here marching with fucking guns, not fucking around coalition. They want to be out here in military fatigues, marching around like fucking idiots, accomplishing nothing, but looking busy as opposed to doing the groundwork necessary. So I think I created more. Sometimes when I respond to these questions, I feel like I create more questions than I answer. So